we see that peace agreements are unsustainable, and in the long run, it doesn't work. So maybe the first question is, why do we have an aspiration for peace if we see that over time it doesn't really work? Well, this is a question that, for as long as people have been around in groups, then, of course, this is a question that concerns and worries everyone. What is peace? Shalom in Hebrew, that comes from the word shlemut, meaning wholeness and perfection. So, is peace only a state where there's no war, or is there also connection, or is it a state where we're so integrated in one another that we stop seeing you and me, but it's the both of us together? Peace is something very deep. I'd say that it elevates us to superhuman levels, not philosophically wise, but to our root, which is one, which is the root of nature. And why are we divided into males and females and so many species and the nations of the world and so on and so forth, and that there are so many differences? And today you have about 8 billion people in the world, each with their own ego, and no one is really at peace with themselves, and it's really the main world problem. Yeah, we really see that all peace agreements throughout history were always signed after bloody wars. And from attrition, and because there's no choice, meaning it's not an agreement that comes from wholeness, perfection, and completion, which is the meaning of peace in Hebrew. But let's sign an agreement in order not to kill each other anymore. You killed enough of my soldiers, I killed enough of your soldiers, and I don't think that that's called peace. I don't think that it has any good future. It never did either. But it helps for some time. Is peace the opposite of a state of war, or these things are unrelated? No. There are ceasefire agreements, different kinds of agreements, different kinds of truce, weapon restrictions, what do we use, what can't we use against each other, and so on. Meaning, it has nothing to do with peace, shalom in Hebrew. That comes from the word shlemut, meaning wholeness and perfection. It's a state where we think that we really should be connected, that this is how things should be. And the result of a peace agreement, if it's really a peace agreement, should be connection, mutual integration, and really the birth of a new reality where there's no you and I, but there is something common between us. And this is how it continues. But